telepathic communication with lights implanting thoughts into people's minds is within reach, and this has been successfully done decades ago on mice. Using lights to control the brain is called optogenetics. So right behind me is the defective purple light. These are popping up worldwide. Scientists can activate or shut down neural pathways, altering behavior. This is mind control via lights.
And then even in a benign scenario, the AI is very benevolent. Then how do we even go along for the ride? How do we participate?
Optogenetic stimulation can activate fear memories. A specific memory is encoded by neurons which can be manipulated. As Elon tells the world, the mark of the beast microchips will be ready for humans in 6 months. For Beltane, May 1st, the Illuminati founding day, divide and rule, which will be the end goal, dividing the body and mind with these neural links.
We are all already cyborgs. Your phone and your computer are extensions of yourself. Leave your phone behind. You might end up tapping your pockets and it's like having missing limb syndrome.
Well, it could be life-changing for people with disabilities. Implants that connect your brain to a computer.
These new advances are going to be rolled out through the Hegelian dialect of problem, reaction, solution. The problem is going to be diseases like Alzheimer's. The solution they'll roll out is these LED mind control techniques, plus Elon Musk's Neuralink, that they're going to put chips inside your brain.
Philadelphia's summertime curfew could soon become permanent. Force anyone between 14 and 17 to be home by 10 o'clock.
They're just normal, but the cell phone starts ringing, and then they start doing the suicide. Here's the movie Cell at the end. They all do it around the cell tower because they're all zombies. Zombies.
The researchers who have revived a number of these zombie spirals, as they're now being called, could infect animals or humans.
Animals are going around in a circle.
An alarming study tonight out of Stanford University. Researchers there say that lockdown caused increased emotional distress for teens and physically changed their brains.
Yo, what up? It's Donut, and you are tuned in to all your Illuminati news. We got the real deal up in here because this is the backup channel, not the big channel. So thank you so much for coming over here to this channel. As just much love to everybody. Shout out to everybody. We going live tonight. A lot of crazy stuff going on in the world. A lot of stuff going crazy, not just on the news, but also people seem to be acting a little weird. Have you noticed that? People seem to be agitated a little more than usual. Driving around, at least this is just my experience, and also everyone I talk to. Everyone I talk to says, yo, people are driving nuts, people are acting nuts, and honestly, I feel a little donutty. I feel a little crazy. So I've been working on surrendering, and I've been reading this book by Alexander Lowen. I covered his narcissism, the narcissistic, what that means. I got a video on my other channel. But what a narcissist is someone who has deadened themselves. They're not themselves because they've cut off emotionally. So they might seem like, wow, they're so brave. They don't have fear. They're so amazing. Well, the reason why is because they deaden their emotions. And this is what narcissistic culture has in store for us. We live in a narcissistic culture, which is all extroverted. Everything counts on the outside world for our inner happiness and our inner being. So a lot of people talk about, I want freedom of speech. Freedom, yes, freedom's important. But what about the inner freedom from within? Because you can have joy and peace from within. And this is why I've been reading this book, Joy. So a lot of the stuff I might talk about tonight with what's going on in the world probably will be coming back to this, because this is all about the truth of your own self, your individual self. Ego is a dirty word. Nothing wrong with an ego. The ego is built for survival. It's just when the ego and the super ego have taken all control and we lose touch with our bodies. So this dude, Alexander Lowen, real dope dude. I would really highly recommend checking out all of his works. He is, I'm going to say his name wrong, William Reich's protege. And William Reich, saying his name wrong, he was arrested by the U.S., the FDA. They put him in jail and pretty much killed him. Made his books illegal in the 70s because he said he can cure all diseases with his organ machine. So I want to check out what he's talking about. And a lot of it has to do with feeling the emotions and letting them out, suppressing our emotions in this culture and worldwide, suppressing them, and they get stored in the body. I don't know. It's real interesting. It's real interesting. Someone says, read your Bible. And that's the thing, because this is about surrendering to the body, right? And I have a big experience getting sober with surrendering to God. Let go, let God, and take away my will and let God's will, whatever happens, happens, which is really difficult to do because the superego, the ego, wants to take control out of a survival mechanism. But this is talking about surrendering to the body's emotion, because we harbor all this emotion in the body. This goes into what we're going to cover, because there are studies out right now, like in that dope intro, that teenagers' brains are maturing quicker because of the stress. Stress is the #1 killer, according to the World Health Organization. Stress is the #1 killer. You want to reduce your stress. But how can you reduce the stress when the movie script of the news and the world stage and the actors and celebrities are used, according to Edward Bernays, in propaganda, selling cigarettes, and the doctors as well, selling cigarettes and bacon and whatever it is. They're used to influence the culture. So over the last few years, we've all been stressed out just from the news and all that going on. And these kids' stress, it's aging them. And shout out to everybody. Make sure you hit that liking button. And you know what? I'm no different. I've been stressed out as well. So I've been trying to learn how to unstress. And surrendering is a big part of that. Culture, cult. So right now, everyone's watching the FIFA World Cups. The FIFA World Cups in Qatar. It's the most popular sport, soccer. And my really good friend, Ian, told me about this very interesting story about a football war. I don't know too much about it, so I'm going to read about it right now. But a war happened just because of a football game. I thought that was pretty interesting. As sports, going back to like Jordan Maxwell just talking about the ball games, or even Bill Cooper talking about the ball games, going back to the gladiator games, is just a big distraction. So I want to read a little bit about this on the fly. The football war, soccer war, also known as the 100-Hour War, was a brief military conflict fought between El Salvador and Honduras in 1969. Existing tensions between the two countries coincided with the rioting during the 1970 FIFA World Cup. Wow. So we got the FIFA World Cup going on right now. I thought that was pretty fascinating. And we're coming into a Helter Skelter scenario. We are coming into a Helter Skelter scenario. I think. Oh no. A lot of researchers have been doing a fantastic job. I want to shout out to everybody in the truth community because I've been learning so much. And this came from this guy, Enter the Stars. And shout out to Joseph as well, who pointed out some stuff. Call Me Kinfolk, Tommy Truthful. So many people I've been watching, and they uncover so many awesome stuff, which brings me in my research to look even deeper. But the Helter Skelter scenario is about Charles Manson listening to the Beatles album number 9. You see the black and white for number 9. This was the end of the hippie movement of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. 9 played an interesting role in John Lennon's life, who was assassinated. But this album, the White Album, is what Charles Manson did his sacrifice, all Hollywood stuff connected with the music industry, to start a race war. That was the scenario. That's what he wanted. The song Blackbirds was about black people. Very interesting in his connections to the CIA, Charles Manson, and the Beach Boys. He wrote a song for the Beach Boys. They said they didn't know. Okay, that makes sense. But this black and white symbolism be popping up all over the place. Elon Musk doing these microchips. But this is, I'm always leading back to this Saturnalia party because we're coming up on Saturnalia. It's Christmas pretty much, but going back to its origins of Saturnalia. And all the people at this Christmas Saturnalia party are going through all the crazy rituals with Kanye and all that. I thought it'd be cool to call this I made the Ilanunnaki, but call it the Yaylanunnaki. I haven't done a live stream in a week, so I'm very, very rusty. And what I could do, if you guys want to do like a call in, I'm down with that, and I can drop the StreamYard link and you guys can join. The only thing is God, you can't say certain words about health, if that makes sense. Balenciaga is in a lot of trouble, and Balenciaga means do what you want, like Aleister Crowley's do what you want, which is, what is it? Do thy will. Where is that? Do what thou will. That's the Aleister Crowley saying. And Balenciaga in Latin or something is do what you want. Balenciaga is also like connected with the Nazis, which is strange. So right here, you could tell, y'all could tell that my flow is totally off, but this is nothing like factual what I'm showing right now. I'm just looking at the bigger picture and trying to put the dots together and the connections. It seems like there's a lot of connections that seem similar. So maybe you guys can help me out with this one. The Beatles album was supposed to have Jesus and Hitler on it. The Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Sgt. Pepper's is Aleister Crowley. You can even see him here in the corner. This was to promote drugs. It was supposed to have Jesus and Hitler on the cover. Hitler and Jesus were controversial ones, and that's what they wanted to put on the cover. And Kanye, he's going live, and he's talking about Jesus and Hitler as well. So I'm seeing a connection, but I don't know what it is. Alex Jones and Kanye. You got one guy, I got a slide. It's the gay frog guy and the gay fish guy on a show. But the robe goes back to Darth Vader. He's wearing the black Saturn robe, like Darth Vader, the robe. And the TIE fighter is Saturn as well. And this Enter the Stars said that the Riddler played something in with Kanye that it looked sort of the same. And if you've seen the Batman movie, The Riddler, he is like this truther who builds this online truth community. And I was looking at the logo of the Riddler, and it's got that Knights Templar double cross going all around it. The Templar Iron Cross going all around the Riddler. It also looks like the Zodiac sign as well. It's the Zodiac Killer. There's a serial killer now in Idaho. We were talking about a serial killer, and now there's a serial killer in Idaho. Which is crazy. But here's that double cross that just be showing up in my research everywhere for the Knights Templars. And the movie Batman, which has this Riddler character in it, Batman's grandfather created 322 Skull and Bones, the secret society of Yale, which will be celebrating its 322 year founding of Yale in New Haven. And the New Haven flag, you can see, is the Knights Templar colors as well. So in Gotham City, there was the 7 explosions that took place, which set off a flood. There was a flood in Gotham. These movies are predictive programming and connected to the simulacrum. Here's the comic book version of it, of the flood, and Watch the Water. I think that something on the agenda is some sort of water. Watch the Water. Is it a bridge? I'm not sure what the Hoover Dam. We'll get into that. We're trying to figure out the code here because they are doing this predictive programming. Even on the dollar bills, they got the flood happening. But this 7 explosions happened in Gotham, and Palantir has a AI algorithm under Gotham, which predicts the future. How Palantir helped NASA spy on the whole world. And this is connected with Elon, Peter Thiel, and all that. And Palantir is the 7 seeing stones. So you got all this 7 up in there. 7 stones, the 7 seeing stones in Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings of Saturn. Here's Smirnoff. Smirnoff's got the double-headed eagle, and the color is the red, white, and black. The red and white, just like the Knights Templars. We can see this with a lot of different alcohol brands, but that double-headed eagle is order out of chaos. And it feels like order out of chaos is going on right now. So much stimulation in the Matrix, just on so many different levels. We got 300 people in here. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit that like button. And I'll be dropping a link, and you guys can join here. I'll do that now. You can join the stream. Just please don't say anything that'll get me in trouble. Anything about health. Let me figure out how to send an invite. So yeah, you're welcome to come on the show. As you can see, I'm struggling, and I need some y'all information as I go through this. But here, I'm gonna drop the link right here. And somebody said Patreon. Right now is the time to join the Patreon. Patreon, we got a bunch of exclusive content up there. Here, I'm gonna drop the link right now. You could join the StreamYard with that link I just dropped right here. Let me see where my Patreon is. So if you join the Patreon today, you get access. It's perfect time to join. I'm going to be uploading some new content to the top tier Patreon. I'm going to go over all the secrets that I know on building a YouTube channel for the last 8 to 10 years, working for other YouTube channels. I haven't uploaded that yet. I'm still creating it, but that'll be on the top tier. Plus, this weekend or on Monday, I'll be releasing a breakdown of this book, this Alexander Lowen book as well. So it's a great way to support us here. We are totally independent, with just Chan. We got corn rituals, private podcasts with one-on-one, ancient symbols and childhood games. So make sure you go. We got the links down below. All right, we got B-Man. B-Man, please show your video and we'll bring you on. So if you're coming on, make sure you show the video. Pretty please. With sugar on top, ice cream in the middle, and the cherry on top. So right here, order out of chaos. 33rd degrees, the double-headed eagle. It's on the Smirnoff bottle. You can see the Knights Templar double cross on Jay-Z's bottle. Dos Equis even got the double X, which is like the double cross in a sense. Budweiser, the same color scheme as KFC and McDonald's, and well, maybe not McDonald's, but KFC for sure. The KFC guy was a Freemason. On his gravestone, you can see his affiliations with that secret society, and also Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola, he was also a Freemason, and it's the same Knights Templar color scheme. Dread Zed, we gonna bring you on. What's up, brother?
Hey, what's going on, man?
You are live on YouTube right now. Just a heads up.
We fixed this. I'm not in the right way, but...
How's it going?
Good. How are you, man? Let's shine some light up. Shit.
Oh,
and
where are you? Are you in London?
What's that?
Where are you at?
Annapolis, Maryland.
Oh, okay. So you're just waking up
Not
right
far,
now.
no. What's that?
You said you're just waking up?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Do you work late?
Sure. I was. But yeah.
Yeah, I got my coffee. I'm doing okay. I've been kind of like reading a lot. So, and reflecting and stuff like that. So I've been better, but you know.
So with the community, with everything going on, what's the scoop? What's the newest thing? I know Elon has a lot of things going on with transhumanism and things of that nature, but you know.
Right. Yeah. So he is going to be implanting people with the human trials for the microchip of the Neuralink. And he said in 6 months, which would land, I believe, on May 1st, which is like the Illuminati day.
There we go. Now we got some fucking light.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, so Elon.
Now we're good. Sorry.
Yeah, no, for sure. Elon, yeah, he's rolling out the microchips to put into people's brains. This is a long time agenda to do, and what I've come to find out, like just looking into it, is that Alzheimer's is supposed to be the next like big event. Like tons of people getting that's what Joe Biden was saying, that Alzheimer's was going to be a huge thing, and this Neuralink will heal that. So it's like a problem, reaction, solution. I think that they're pushing.
Well, within that case, it's like people being so willing to take the jab and or, you know, with that, I feel like that was a whole psyop in preparing people into being more susceptible to that, into that aspect, if that makes sense.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, people, I 100% agree with you. And also just think about all the medications and weird stuff and chemtrails. I
Right.
go out, there's all this chemtrails. It seems all the food too, all the food, like nobody really cares. People
Yeah,
just,
everything's manufactured, and no one really looks into the what goes into the food, and we need localization. If we can get in touch with our local farmers, things of that nature, it's just roots, getting in touch with our roots, learning how to farming, just things. It's pretty simple. Well, not simple, but I don't know.
no, yeah, it is. I think that's what it is. I think
Yeah.
that it is simple, but they make it seem so complicated. And also just the idea of going out into nature. I had got this, like, I want to go out into nature. All these philosophers, they all talked about nature is a reflection of ourselves. They would go out like Nietzsche or Emerson. They go isolate out in
Mm-hmm.
the woods. But all the scary movies, every time they show something scary, it's like the wind's blowing or something, you know. So it's just
Right, exactly. So they kind of gravitate towards something of that, well, in that realm, like that scary or I'm trying to think of the right terminology, but
right,
um,
right. So what
but
are
how
you
they
look?
do. What's that?
Oh, so what are you looking into right now? Like, what's your? Because I've been watching the Kanye thing and the Elon
Oh,
thing,
well,
and
yeah, that whole thing with Kanye. I don't know if that's a distraction. I'm not sure what he is initially trying to do within. Well, there's the anti-Semitic whole thing that he was going through, and initially, he was blowing the lid off of a lot of things, but at the same time, he is someone who, you know, he has such a huge well, a following, a huge influence. So, with that being said, it's like um, with what he's saying and what he's blowing it off of, is this a distraction? It's something we should pay attention to wholly. It's hard to say
yeah,
because there's
that's
so much going on, so much confusion. So, and I mean, I base my belief off of a Christian faith. So, you know, Bible believing Christian faith, but based on that, we're we're headed towards a very interesting direction.
yeah. I think you really said that's exactly where I'm at too. I'm like, what's going on? I don't even know what's going on. Is he like exposing like some true stuff like that we got to be aware of, or is it? It's very confusing.
It
Well,
is.
thank
It
you,
is.
bro, for coming
Oh
on.
no, thank you so much. It was very well. I wasn't ready for it, but no, I love that you brought me on, and you're amazing, and
Oh,
I
thanks.
I, I love you, man. No, you're great.
You got a channel anyone could subscribe to?
Uh, Dread's dead. I'm still building it. You know, it's nothing crazy, but still gotta build it up. And but no, I love you, love what you do.
Oh, thank you, bro. Love you too. I really
Yeah,
appreciate that.
yeah, of course, of course.
We'll come back
I'll,
on.
yeah, definitely.
All right, everybody, go.
Good to be here.
Yeah, go subscribe to Dread Zed, and if you want to come join in on the call, want to call in to the show, I'm gonna drop the link right now. It's the StreamYard link, and you can join in right here in the comment section. We're gonna bring on Jim B. Yeah, he's ready. What's up, Jimmy?
What's going on, man?
How are you?
I'm doing really good. I kind of was just curious how I know you just said how you were just kind of up in the air about Ye or Kanye, but what I was thinking is kind of like symbolically how he plays the fool. I don't know if you've ever heard that.
Like the Fool card, like the tarot, the Fool.
Yeah, that's just kind of what I've heard in like my research. Kind of like I don't know if you've ever heard of Jonathan Pageau with like the symbolic world.
No, I'll check that out though. Jonathan, uh, how do you spell Paggio?
I believe it's Pageuo, but his channel's called the Symbolic World.
Oh,
Um, and and I know I want to believe that he's kind of played the whole system up until now. Maybe he just kind of woke up and really wants to give himself to Christ and express everything to the masses now that he finally is just out there. Like he's like I don't know if you watched Alex Jones's thing yet with him.
yeah, I did.
I only saw about half of it, but and he's always kind of everywhere. But I feel like now, hopefully, um, this is it for him. He put his life on the line. Is kind of what I see. I don't see why he would go back on anything he's saying. So hopefully he just keeps on going with what he's doing. And it is weird though, because then you see all the stuff, the imagery and the Knights Templar that you've broken down, but then again I see the full card being played, like he really was there the whole time, and then he came out and just let everybody know what's going on.
So
um
the Fool card, I've heard that the Fool is actually like the smartest one out of all of them, or something like that. I don't really know much about it. But I do know that there's a lot of symbolism with the tarot stuff.
yeah, that's how I see him, and I feel like it just lays it out real well, like his whole story and everything that he's been through. He did have to be a part of the system in order to gain all the information in his way, his path to the truth. And obviously, I think like he was saying, obviously Alex Jones kind of opened it up for a lot of people, and especially now I think it's just more people are getting, they're just ready to just open up and stop holding down their emotions, like you were saying. How the inflammation is caused through stress, the cortisol that runs through your blood is all from the stress, which makes you sick. So it goes hand in hand. And now like he just has to lay it out there for us, because what else is he gonna do now? Like, are we gonna see him go missing or something? Like, he has to do that, or else what, everything's just gone for no reason. He just is gone if he doesn't lay it out for us. So I am still kind of perplexed about him, but I feel like now it's kind of pointing towards like, yeah, he really knew what was going on, especially being like tied with Jay-Z and everything in that room. I feel like especially him, naming the names that he did, it's kind of hard to be like, man, he's still on that side. I don't believe that. I think hopefully he is, changed for the better and really just pushing a positive message. Um, but did you say you saw it, or you didn't?
No, yeah, I watched the whole thing.
Okay. How
Yeah,
did you feel about, because he is a bad communicator in some ways, and especially like when he said like I love the
yeah.
when he said that, I feel like that probably is going to be the headline and this and that for everything. So that's kind of where it goes, like it takes away a lot of the substance and just shows us, the little headline, and then people are just going to disregard everything that he said for the whole, 3 hours or whatever it was. So that's kind of just what I wanted to say. I've always been a Kanye fan, and I'm a fan of music, and and a fan of you specifically, because
Thank you.
a lot of this stuff is hard to grasp and hard to like understand unless you're spending hours and days and listening to lectures and listening to, you know that's kind of where I've been is I've always, you know, for the past 3 years, I became sober.
Oh,
I
good for you.
thank you, and I enjoy like hearing people, you know, when especially you like being sober. It it does something to people when you tell them like, oh, I don't do this or I don't do that. It's like for the moment they're like, oh, you want to drink or something, and you know, like they want to get the party going or whatever, but then you let them know like, no, I'm sober actually. It kind of like catches them off guard, but they feel some sort of reason to be like, oh, well, that's good for you, man. Like it is good. So why can't everybody do it, you know, little by little? You know, things don't really happen just like that. Like you want to be sober, you have to take every action and really go with it and really have faith that you're gonna be okay. Just, you know, be sober from a lot of things, especially, you know, the chemicals, you know, the poison, you know, those are the easy ones. But being sober from, you know, a lot of stuff, you know, our world is just filled with fleshly desires. So you know, we need to just realize, you know, the things that last in eternity are the things that really matter. And those are, you know, going home and cooking for your family and feeding them and teaching them, you know, the ways to live properly and how to treat other people and having conversations with family members. Those are the things that last. The learning, you know, the learning stuff is what really lasts for eternity. And that's all we have, because once we go down and we're in the 6 feet under, you can't really take everything with you. You know, a lot of people believe, you know, that's why, you know, they have all their treasures in the tombs, so that, you know, that's what's going with them, or when they come back, that it's there for them when they come back. But who knows? You know, what really matters is what's in our heart and in our mind, not the material world, really. Like, but that's just what I have to say, Donut.
Well,
A little.
congratulations, bro, on your
Thank
sobriety. Yeah,
you.
just one day at a time. Like
Yep.
I'll get messed up tomorrow, but tonight I'm just gonna stay sober tonight, and that's all I do, really. But the addiction is all over the place. I'm addicted to the nicotine gum and sugar. Like I stay away from the sugar, but then I'm like, I need some sugar and go get an
Yes.
ice cream. Yeah. So, well, thank you for coming on, bro. I appreciate. Is it Jim? Jim B?
It's Jimmy. That's just kind of
Oh,
my
okay.
name. But,
You got a channel anyone can subscribe to?
I'm working on it. I've been just kind of getting all the paperwork on my end, so when I do start putting stuff up, I'll be able to lay it out consistently.
Oh,
But
dope.
but you know, everything that I've kind of learned and what I want to do is just come from your channel. Like I said, I've sat it through and listened to a bunch of lectures from different people, just trying to get a broad perspective so I can make my own opinion. But I do see myself coming back and really relating to pretty much what you say, and kind of digging deeper from what you're already laying out for the people to see. So that's
Oh,
I can't say enough that you've done for me and for other people, and for the people listening. I just want to say, like, when you get this information, it's only going to do something unless you share it. And unless you're open about things, like, don't be afraid. You know, if the people aren't ready to hear it, at least you're planting seeds, and those seeds can grow. And it's not like you're planting, you know, nightshade. You're planting good seeds, and those ones are going to grow. And eventually the people will come around and put two and two together and know that the truth was always there. They just had to see it.
yeah. Well, thank you so much.
Thank
And
you.
Jimmy, right? Jimmy?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Jimmy. Come back on.
Thank you, Donut. Appreciate you.
All right. Appreciate you. Much love, brother.
Thank you.
I think what he was saying about the planting the seeds, it's slow. Like recovery and the sobriety thing is a very slow process. The world that we live in is all instant gratification. Even what Kanye was talking about with the pornography, instant gratification. And we live in this overstimulated world right now. And this book, I'm going to go back to this book. You got, be compassionate with yourself. The self-esteem at the bookstore in the new age and the self-esteem, it's either self-esteem or success? Self-esteem, success, but really it's self-compassion. What people should be looking into is the compassion for the self. The self has been denied for so long. The inner freedom is very important to the truther community, right? A lot of the truther community, a lot of us are a little crazy, you know, like the typical, like there's something true to that extent. And but are we any more crazier than the freaking world out there? Like the people just walking around with no issues of this world, and they just fit in perfectly in this sick society. That means that they're sick, because the society is pretty narcissistic, sick, toxic. And if you're just okay with that, that just shows that you're kind of sick. Let's get back into some stuff. I'll drop the link again if anyone wants to join in. Here it is. I'll star it. I'll get into some more of this research I'm looking into. So this Knights Templar logo does be popping up everywhere, especially with Kanye. Kanye, the symbolism with him, he's the bear. He always appears in a bear market. Every time he drops an album, it is during a bear market. Like he dropped one on September 11th. His first album was like 2007, right during these economic times. And this is just a weird thing. And this whole Polaris connected to it, as Polaris is in the Little Bear constellation, and Kanye even went to a school called Polaris. Where's that? So here's Kanye. You got the Knights Templar thing, the Donda ritual with Kim Kardashian, Batman, the Joker, the Riddler. Here's all the alcohol bottles. Batman, they show this 322 right before the football explosion. And we got football coming up on February 12th, leaving 322 days left in the year. We'll also be celebrating the 322 year of Yale University, where 322 Skull and Bones is located. Shout out to Joseph, he posted this, that Ye's account was suspended with 322 million followers. You got the 322 in there. And on this birthday of Yale University, where it would be the 322 year, happens to land on a full moon, on a hunter moon on October 9th. So you can bet your bottom dollar that the 322 ritual, as they're known to do pranks, there'll probably be a prank ritual that'll be taking place. Even Gavin Newsom is talking about reparations, and you can see the 322 in that as well. It just pops up all over the place. But like we're talking about the stress of the lockdowns literally caused teen brains to age by several years. Does that have to do anything with all the news and the bombardment and the fear and the clenching of the jaw? I mean, this goes all the way back to childhood. Our emotions get stored in the body since childhood because of being betrayed by the authority figures, the parents, and whatever, just growing up in society. And we store it in our body. If you have a heartbreak, you could feel that all through your body. And one of the things psychologically people do is they bite. It's a sign of you're stressed out. I noticed I was doing it when in March a few years ago. I was so stressed out, I would be biting my teeth when I was sleeping. I was like, what's this all about? And it goes back to like, you need to let out a good cry. I know it sounds weird, but that's what this book is talking about, bioenergetics. This is information that the U.S. government banned the books of the reading in the 70s. And the guy who wrote this lived to be like 97 years old. So the emotions get stored in the body and the stress from childhood, but now we have stress on such a huge level that these teens not only developing tics watching TikTok from the blue light coming out of the cell phone, like the purple lights in the beginning, stress and biting the jaw is associated with it. And also it's a sign of rebellion and protest and fighting when you're a baby or a kid, 1 to 3 years old. Biting can be a way for a child to test his or her power or to get attention. So we're hearing all this zombie stuff, all these movies, the psychological warfare, and these celebrities and everything going on is very, very well studied psychologically. Not only do they have the giants, the great giants that they're walking on their shoulders, right? Going back to all the psychologists and philosophers all throughout the ages, which people aren't interested in reading about. They have an AI algorithm that can tell them the best possible outcome for what they want to do. So it's like on such another level. And the zombie stuff, why is zombies everywhere? That goes all the way back to who we are, in a sense, this whole biting thing. Even the movie Jaws. The Jaws scared the crap out of everybody. People wouldn't even go to the beach anymore. And now in Philadelphia, they're putting a curfew on kids 14 to 17 that they have to be at home by 10 p.m. These same teenagers that have to be home, they're the ones whose brains are developing too quickly from the stress. And now they are got to be home by 10. What up, Horrible Home Video? Which I think is pretty insane, in my opinion. I used to sneak out all the time. But this curfew will soon be permanent in Philly. I think it's already permanent now, which was only for the lockdowns, but now it's permanent. Stay home, stay inside. And at the same time, we got the Transformers movie coming out. Megatron is a secret code for the Freemasons when you're at a high level. I wonder, I think it's the 33rd degree, but you say Megatron, and that's like the password to get in. And then we got Megatron on the Transformers movie coming out where they have like a Hoover Dam scene. And also they have the 322 right before he says I'm Megatron or something in that movie by Michael Bay, which the CIA helped out create. And then you got Bumblebee, Illuminati B order. But the Hoover Dam was crushed because watch the water. The Hoover Dam was crushed in Beavis and Butthead Do America. And they live on 322 Woodson Street in Highland, Texas. So this 322 connection is all over the place. And Gen Z, I mean, I don't know what the generation is before them, but they're stressed out that their brains are growing too quickly. And nearly 3 in 5 of Gen Z, 57%, have mental health conditions and are on some sort of medication. That's a lot. Nearly 3 in 5. So, talking about the stress in the body and all that, how it gets stored in the body, how it gets stored in the jaw, the clamp gets stored in the shoulders. To release that goes into some self-work where you got to cry it out or scream it out, goes into that kind of work. But Elon Musk, he did this event, and you can see right here, the T-Mobile ad was a zombie ad. There's a zombie ad for his Tesla semi event. And a semi is a sexual term as well. Elon always uses the sexual terms. His semi, I think y'all already know what a semi is. This is going to replace all the truckers who were protesting. I mean, this is where it's leading to. It's the 2030 agenda. And now they're talking about this zombie sickness. They're calling it a zombie sickness. Frozen. But it's not what you think it is. It's just a sickness that can turn back alive. Although the sickness isn't alive or dead. It's very confusing. But they're just using these terms to get us scared. And this is going to happen because the world is heating up according to them. But that's the 2030 agenda. So as Megatron, I'm all over the place and I apologize. Megatron is this code word. There's another code word, which I think is pretty fascinating. It's called shibboleth. Shibboleth is another code word. Where did I put the shibboleth? Right here. Shibboleth. And then someone on my Patreon said, look, it says shib, like Shiba Inu, like Dogecoin, shib, in ETH. So I was like, that's interesting. But this is a code word, and it meant corn as well, as I think that we're doing some corn rituals. I'll get into that in a minute. It means corn, but it also means water or flood, which I think is interesting. The way of the water. So if this isn't making any sense, hit that like button. This is just what I'm looking at. This right now. This is just me looking at. This is everything I'm looking at right now, trying to put it all together. So Jaws, going back to that biting thing, people were so scared of this. And this goes into the biting stuff, the zombies getting eaten. And this scared the crap out of people that they stopped going to the beach. Jaws and cinematic neurosis that persist. The cinema making us scared of nature. They're very, very smart. The way they develop stuff. Even in James Bond, there's a Jaws character with this mouth. And if this is a movie script and Kanye is the villain of this movie script being played out, at least that's what the mainstream media is portraying him as the story keeps unraveling, I think there's a connection. I think that there's a connection to all of this. 007 is the 2-ball cane. Very, very interesting. I'm going to have to put this together in a more concise order. Balenciaga was working with the Nazis too. And the families were close allies to Hitler. So that's what I'm looking at. And I appreciate everybody sticking around this whole time. Make sure you hit that like button. I know this video I was not on point, but that intro was on point. If you did not watch that intro, it was dope. They are vampires, somebody wrote. I'm going to get to some questions, and then I'll go into a little bit about the corn rituals that I think are going on. All right, let me go back up and see what's good. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. And if you like this content, we got a lot of content up on the Patreon. We got that in the description box down below. It's the best way to support us here at the Donut Factory. Plus, you get a ton of great information, and I'll be releasing a how do you do it? How do you build a YouTube channel? You want to build a YouTube channel or an online business, bring in, do your passion, do your vocation. I'm going to put out a video presentation on everything I know, from thumbnails to all that. And that'll be in the premium Patreon, where you see Chan in there. But this is the best way to support us on the channel with Chan. All right, here we go. Make sure everybody go subscribe to Dread's Dead. Dread's Dead. Go subscribe. Transformer 6'9". Is that when the movie comes out? I'm looking it up. It does come out 6'9". Transformer 7 comes out on 6'9". Next is the Golden Gate Ritual. For sure, something with San Francisco. Much love to Texas. Can't mess with it. Thank you. Oh, it's 3 a.m. in the UK? It's 8:30 here in Arizona. Don't talk about that, sad. I wonder what that was I was talking about. Hello, all you donut holes. What up, Bornora? Drop the Patreon link. Okay, I'm going to drop the Patreon link real quick. You guys like this information? I mean, we got some nice videos up there that dive deeper in a more precise way. I'll drop that link real quick. What about tacos? It's 4:30 in New Zealand, 4:30 p.m. Thank you, Moonpath. Check out the Made in Australia logo. All right, I'm going to check it out right now. Made in Australia logo. It is the Illuminati pyramid. It's a kangaroo. Oh, and also that kind of looks like a sick ball, a sickness ball. These symbols are so fascinating. It's 4:35 in Holland. 10:30 p.m. in Canada. Okay, let's talk about corn. It's corn. You got the corn meme. It's corn. And that kid was on the Jolly Green Giant during the Macy's Day Parade. And corn symbolizes a lot of different symbols, especially in Freemasonry. You got the wages were corn, wine, and oil. And The Economist magazine, which is all about the wages, all about how much money you're going to be making or not making. The Economist, the economy. The corn, wine, and oil. These are the wages of the Masons, but it goes all the way back to when they're building Solomon's temple as well. The Masons who were building that temple, the stonemasons. And The Economist magazine this year had the corn, which could be symbolized as wheat or grain, cereal. The god Ceres is why we call it cereal. And Thanksgiving, they show us the cornucopia, the corn of the horns, because it's the corn of plenty. It's like plenty. It's like an abundance of food. And this goes back to Zeus, as Zeus was mothered and drank goat's milk, and he got so strong he ripped off the horn of the goat, and he can just drink as much of the goat milk as he wanted. But on these Economist magazine, I can see they were showing all year the corn, wine, and oil. The wine is considered blood in all cultures. Most cultures, blood is wine. Wine, that's what it resembles. And the oil. And on this oil, you can see on the right, it's as above, so below. The symbolism, as above, so below. So I think there's been a big ritual going on with that. There's just so much symbols, so much symbology. Very fascinating. And it goes into the green agenda. Goes into Peter Pan. Peter Pan wears the green, just like the jolly green giant that the corn kid. Corn is the number one commodity all throughout the ages. Get rid of the high corn fructose syrup, people are going to go crazy. And we're coming up on the year of the rabbit as well, as we're going down the rabbit hole. And this issue of Mad Magazine is number 182. Like Blink 182 is the rabbit. I think there's going to be some UFO stuff. Look at the New Yorker magazine from November 28th. Shows the wave hitting. Let's check that out. Thank you, Wisdom. Let's check out November 28th, New Yorker magazine. November 28th, New Yorker magazine. Oh, interesting. It is showing the wave. Every single thing has been pointing to water flooding or corn or wheat. Water or corn. Corn on the cob. I'm going to have to look into that more. That's a great find. Thank you for sharing that. Wonder if I could make it bigger. Because a lot of times there's more in the imagery. Oh, that's interesting. Water and corn equal 22. Well, I'm really glad that everybody joined me. I know I was really off tonight. I got to get my momentum back up. But thank you so much. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. And much love to everybody. And God bless y'all.